Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to New York City. Welcome to the newly restored Ghostbusters Firehouse.
Hello everyone, Tampa Jay here, and welcome to Hook and Ladder number 8 of the New York City Fire Department. I am super excited to be standing here today at the filming location for my all-time favorite movie, Ghostbusters. Now, when I was a kid, I watched Ghostbusters religiously. Not just the first one, the second one, the cartoon. I had the Ghostbusters toy firehouse. I still have that. I just wanted to be a Ghostbuster. I have to say, standing in front of this building right now is probably the closest thing to being a Ghostbuster. Oh, looks like the door's coming up. Looks like they're getting a call, but if you look inside, there is the sign from Ghostbusters 2. It's right there. This is so awesome. It would have been hanging about right there, or maybe it was there. I have to look that up, but there's the sign from Ghostbusters 2. Now, this isn't my first time here in New York City, and definitely not my first time at the firehouse. It was actually at one of the top places on my list the first time I came here. But however, the reason why I'm standing out here today in this cold weather is because it was just restored. From 2016 to 2018, if you visited New York, odds are you saw this building covered in scaffolding. But right now, very recently, it has been restored and it looks remarkably amazing. This firehouse was actually built in 1903. Hook and Ladder number 8 is of the Beaux Arts style firehouse and is the first of its kind. It was actually a 2-door fire station until 1913 when it was reduced by half because they widened Varick Street. So I think that's pretty cool. This was actually used to be double in size, and you can kind of tell because it's very narrow. It's a very narrow fire building, and in the movies it does look a whole lot bigger. That's the best I can do of the Ecto 1 siren. Man, I'm thinking of so many iconic scenes right here. The first time you saw the Ecto come out of these doors and take a loop around and head down that way. Right now I'm thinking of the scene where the New York Police Department paddy wagon drops Louis Tully off there, and Egon takes him in while he's wearing a straitjacket. It's kind of funny because here's the Ghostbusters Firehouse, and caddy corner right here is actually a New York Police Department police station. These two murals sit outside of the front sidewalk of the firehouse, and it looks like the ghost is holding what they call a halligan, which is a tool used in firefighting. And you've got a ladder here and a pike pole and a fire hydrant. Ladder 8. This firehouse is arguably one of the most iconic pieces of architecture in New York film history. And if you always wondered what the back alley looked like behind the Ghostbusters Firehouse, here it is. And the Patriots fan. The firefighters of Hook and Ladder number 8 were among some of the first responders to the September 11th attack in 2001. Among those firefighters that day that responded to the World Trade Center was Vincent Gerard Halloran. And tragically, he wasn't able to make it back that day. As well as many, many, many people. To think of that day and what it must have been like coming out of these doors, down the street, out of the firehouse, and the Twin Towers would have sat right there. You can see the tip of the actual Freedom Tower today. It's very awesome to be standing here in front of one of my very favorite places in the world. Obviously Tampa's my favorite town, and the Tampa Theater is my favorite building. Also one of my favorite buildings in all the world, but this right here, man, as you can see, there isn't 1 minute that goes by where someone doesn't stop and take a selfie or take a photograph. Welcome back, Ladder 8. Newly restored and newly renovated, and it looks absolutely gorgeous. Well guys, I was going to end it here, but I think we're going to head down further into the lower west side and check out the 9/11 memorial. There's much ahead. Now, there are many Ghostbusters filming locations in New York City, and I have actually visited most of them before, but that was way before I even thought about waving around a camera or anything like that. But in the future, I plan to make New York City more of a habit. I plan on coming back here at least 2 or 3 times a year, kind of some short weekend trips, if feasible, if I can afford it. But there's just so much to do and see here in New York City, and filming locations and history and infrastructure just fascinates me. So let's make it a habit. Would you like to come back? I think we're gonna come back. Seven World Trade Center. What a beautiful building. Looks like this is one of the new towers for the World Trade Center being built. The Freedom Tower. Wow.
I'm right there. My name is Abu. Are you ready?
If I wasn't so excited to be here, I'd be freezing. But the adrenaline is kicking in and taking over. Welcome to One World Trade Center. Now, if you want to go to the very top of the Freedom Tower, you come here to the One World Observatory entrance, and that is where you enter to go to one of the tallest buildings in the world. That's a long way up. Holy cow. Welcome to the 9/11 Memorial. This is where the North Tower once stood. Vincent Gerard Halloran of Ladder 8 was a loving husband and father of 5 children on September 11th, 2001. His wife was actually pregnant with a 6th child. And his story is just one of many of thousands of tragedies that day. And honestly, I don't need to go into all that. Sorry. This is my 4th time here, and it'll always be the same. You always feel it just no words. But I'm glad I'm back here today. I'm glad I could share this moment with you. Just a moment of silence, that's all I'm gonna do here. We all know what happened, and we will never forget. It's amazing what man can do. Good, evil, wrong. It's just amazing. But that all being said, I'm glad I'm here. And I'm glad, again, I can share this moment with you. And I had the most wonderful time down at the Ghostbusters Firehouse. Walked down here to the 9/11 memorial to find one of many heroes that was here that day. And like I said, we all know what happened, and we will never forget. I remember where I was that day, just a kid in Newcastle, Indiana. Never forget it. But we are strong as a nation, as a world, as humanity. Although we have our differences, I always believe we should come together and unite and be one and love each other. And that's why I always say, love all and love always, because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what the day might bring. You never know if it might be your last. I love you guys. I appreciate you joining me here in New York City and all of my journeys. It's been a most excellent time, and I'm really emotional right now because where I'm at, but I really do mean it from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate you all. But no matter what, there is much ahead, my friends. No matter what we go through, we will overcome and we will rebuild together, stronger. We will move forward into the future, and I am most excited about that. So thanks again for watching. Even though this is the end of the video, it is not the end of the journey. There is much ahead, my friends.